Hi guys, it's Steve from CTA Accountant. So today I want to talk about how to choose an accountant for your circumstances or your business. We are accountants ourselves. I run an accounting firm, CTA Profit First Accountant. So I am clearly going to be a bit biased in suggesting you should have an accountant, but actually it depends on your circumstances. If you've got a kind of part-time gig on the side, you've got a full-time job and you've got a bit of side income, a few £1,000 a year, £2,000 a year, then you can probably do your own tax return because there's not that much that can go wrong. That being said, I have seen people waste money by doing their own tax return because they're doing it themselves. But that is one of the situations where you can do your own tax return. If you're a business, if you're self-employed and you're growing your business, you're employing people, or you're in the construction industry and you've got CIS tax, or you're VAT registered, then I would 100% recommend getting an accountant. And if you're a limited company, I would definitely recommend getting an accountant. So how do you choose the right accountant for you? So in our experience, in our opinion, if you go onto our website and have a look on the homepage, then there's a wheel with 3 segments, and these are the 3 areas we feel you need as a business owner, especially as a business owner in your business, from an accountant, the support you need. So really it's kind of, what do you need most? What are you looking to do with your business? So the 3 areas to focus on. Number 1 is what we call the finance foundations. You can also refer that to as the compliance. Compliance is doing everything you need to do. Keeping the taxman happy, being able to sleep at night, doing it properly. You've got someone who's capable, they're competent, they're qualified, they're experienced, and they know what they're doing. So that's kind of the foundations. And as part of that, there's lots of different areas. So there's doing your payroll, somebody who knows what they're doing with your payroll. They know what salary to run through for you as a director. They know how to submit things to HMRC. They know how to calculate the pensions for any staff you might have. And also, if you become VAT registered, they can do your VAT properly. They can claim the right expenses, choose the right VAT scheme. They can also help direct you with your bookkeeping. They can either do the bookkeeping for you. We refer to that as your finance department. So essentially, a lot of accountants are also bookkeepers nowadays. So it's being your accountant, being your bookkeeper, but it's all part of the foundation. It's all part of the level 1, if you will, really, to be honest. So that's the fundamentals. And the truth is, most accountants can do level 1. Most accountants can do that basic core function that you need from an accountant, and most of them are competent telling you how to do or doing it for you in terms of submitting your VAT, guiding you with what expenses to claim at a very general level, submitting your taxes on time, doing it properly. So all that's kind of built in for most accountants. That being said, there's still a huge spectrum separating accountants, even at that basic level 1. You've got at one end of the extreme, you've got online only accountancy firms, and I'm not going to mention any names, and it's kind of like a factory. So it's kind of, let's take your numbers, let's put it into some boxes, and let's submit it to HMRC. On the face of it, it's fine, but there's lots of opportunities they're missing because they're not asking the right questions. They don't understand your family situation. They don't understand, maybe your kids can go on the payroll, maybe your wife or husband can go on the payroll. Are you taking advantage of trivial benefits? Are you putting mobile phones through your company? Are you looking at claiming an electric car through your business? Have you done the calculations to figure out, should it be a hire purchase, a lease? Should I buy one privately? So all those different things at the one end of the scale, you're not going to get if you're going too cheap, because there's not enough time. The staff are probably not as competent or knowledgeable to understand those things. At the other end of the spectrum, you've got a huge, big local firm with dozens of people that still go into the office, if not hundreds of people that still go into the office, and bricks and mortar businesses that have been operating for probably at least 30, 40 years. And they don't like working with smaller clients, or businesses. They want to work with the bigger businesses. They audit businesses that are doing at least a few £1 million turnover, plus if not £10 million, and that's where they get most of their money. And in the middle, you're looking for someone who can use technology, systemize, make it easy to do things for you, use Xero, Dext, automation, all these sort of things, who are kind of ahead of the curve. So they're giving you the best of this world, but also they're giving you the personal touch and real human beings who are not just online or outsourced to a different country where they're not part and parcel of the business. So you can get somebody in between. So cheap and cheerful, super expensive. In the middle, you're going to blend both. So if you're a really tiny small business and you've got hardly no turnover, or you're not even making any money, potentially you can go down this end. If you're a huge business, go here. Otherwise, you're going to fall somewhere in the middle. So that's the typical range. Moving up from this, so you've got my kind of pie chart. Check our website, or I'll share a link in the video. So that's level one. That's just level one, that huge spectrum. And level two is about profit improvement. So we're profit first accountants. So what that means is we're certified under the Profit First philosophy and system to increase client profit and cash with a proven method. So we've got ways of actually doing that. But the truth is, most accountancy firms have no idea how to make you more profit. If somebody says, an accountant says, I can increase your cash and make you more profit, if you ask them, how are you going to do that? They're probably going to tell you, well, we're going to look at your numbers very often. We're going to do maybe some management accounts, which are accounts more often rather than once a year. So management accounts can be done every month, every quarter, whereas statutory compliance accounts are once a year. So they might say we're going to do this, but they don't actually tell you exactly how they're going to do it. But we basically benchmark our clients against best practice, and we systematically have ways to increase your profit and your cash. And we do it all the time, and that's why we love Profit First. But it doesn't just have to be Profit First. There can be other ways of doing it. You don't have to go with a Profit First set of certified firm of accountants. You can go with accountants that are very forward thinking. That they're trying to coach their clients and support their clients, be business partners, ask the right questions, challenge you, give you what I call that boardroom experience, where the problem with a lot of small businesses is they've got their head down, they're doing it on their own, and nobody's challenging them. They don't know they don't basically get their head out of the weeds to understand what's going on. So the idea is, if you've got somebody else who can challenge you, then you can learn from your mistakes and potentially shortcut where you're heading. So number two is an accountancy firm that can work with you as a business partner, like a finance director or a business coach, or give you that support and challenge you. And they've ideally got a proven method, or they've got systems to help improve your profit. And there's different ways. I'm not going to bore you with the detail, but there's different ways of doing that. That's level number two. So number one is everything you have to do. Number two is helping you move closer to being a successful business. Number three, and you don't have to go through these levels, by the way, you could potentially take a piece of each segment, but number three is what I call wealth maximization. So it's all about, it's keeping your money in your pocket. So if you're making more money, you're keeping more of it in your pocket. And there's two ways of doing that. One is to pay less tax. And as I said, as part of the foundations, most accountants will give you some kind of tax review, but a lot of them will just tick boxes. So normally, it's a no-brainer to spend more time, more money in doing a deeper tax review to save more money. If I said to you, are you willing to spend an extra £1,000 with your accountant a year on top of what you're spending? If they can save you an extra £10,000, it's a no-brainer. It's, where do I sign? But most accountants are not charging enough to spend the time to look at your circumstances to actually save you money. And because they're not charging you, they don't do it, and they don't save you money. So tax optimization and planning is a huge area that's overlooked by a lot of small businesses. There's loads of things you can do. There's 32 main ways to save tax. So we have a tax MOT, or also known as a tax diagnostic, where we charge a one-off fee. And if we don't save you at least double what we charge you, we don't charge you a penny. So basically, it's you can't lose. And we've saved people between £3,000 to £50,000 doing that tax review. But we're not the only people that do it, but it's not as common as you think. Not every accountant does it. The final area as part of the wealth maximisation is tax planning and also investing. Just being careful and being sound with your money. Are you putting into a pension? What are you doing with your money? Are you avoiding high rate tax? You know, if you're earning £60,000, it's far more tax efficient to put £10,000 into a pension, because the amount of money that's going to make you in 10 years' time compared to paying 40% tax and only receiving £6,000 in your pocket is crazy. That £10,000 in 25 years' time could be worth over £50,000, if not way more than that. But if you receive it, you could only receive £6,000 in that same year. So being savvy, speaking to a financial advisor, and just making your money work harder for you is also a big area. So they're the three main areas. Some of the other things that are very basic but we take for granted is, have you got somebody you can talk to, a dedicated person? Have you got an accountant you can pick up the phone, you can call them, they call you back there and then, or they answer the phone, or it's the same day, or do you have to wait a week or 2 weeks, which I've heard of some of these online firms, to speak to an accountant, and they, you know, they're dealing with your situation for the very first time in a lot of cases. And also human level, somebody you get on with, somebody who you feel comfortable talking to, sharing. It's not just a suited and booted, you're the professional, we're the accountant's the master, they know everything, you better listen to what I'm saying. No, you want to have a very natural relationship with your accountant, because it's a very important relationship. It's someone you need to trust and you need to get on with it on a personal level. Obviously, accountants, and I'm one myself, are professional, but it's also human to human. Forget business to customer, B2C, B2B. It's H to H, human to human, really. So that's the big areas. There are some more, but I think I've shared all the main ones. Thanks, guys. Cheers.